Hey everyone, welcome to another great episode of the Smooth Business Growth Podcast, where we share 15 minutes of fast-paced, pure marketing strategies proven to move the needle in your business. So I'm your host and Captain Lindsay Phillips, and I'm the founder of Smooth Sailing Business Growth, where we help busy entrepreneurs attract and acquire customers faster through powerful and consistent content marketing. In fact, if you go to smoothbusinessgrowth.com, you can actually download your social media roadmap to help you do just that. And so let's dive into the good stuff, because today we're chatting with Deborah Bailey, who's a writer, a coach, creative entrepreneur, and expert in career transitions and reinvention. And what she's going to share is how to think like an entrepreneur and transform your career and take charge of your life. So let's set sail. So welcome aboard, Deborah.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. So I know you have this book, Think Like an Entrepreneur, Transforming Your Career and Taking Charge of Your Life. And I saw in there that you say that business and mindset is connected. Can you explain what that means?
Well, for people to jump into a business, it's such a change, especially if you come out of corporate, and that's where I came out of. You have to learn about really taking charge and not having someone else tell you, you should do this, you should do that. This is how the huge company structured you to fit into that. So now you have to be self-directed. You have to be the one who wears a lot of different hats. It can be very disconcerting when you come out of a big organization, suddenly it's all on you. So you have to get your mind right in terms of what you want, why you're doing this, where you see yourself going.
That's so true. And I mean, I know you've come out of the corporate space. I had, a couple of different part-time jobs, and stepping into entrepreneurship, it is a different game. So how is the mindset or thinking like an entrepreneur different?
Well, I feel that you have to be open, for instance, to taking risks. That's something that I talk about, because we're very risk-averse people.
Yes.
We're supposed to play it safe, and we're not supposed to make mistakes, and we're supposed to know exactly what we want, and we're supposed to go and get it. But entrepreneurship isn't like that. You don't know sometimes how something's going to work when you put it out there, and you have to take the risk that it may work, it may not work. And if it doesn't work, you learn from that. You have to be more creative and open, to understand that things don't have this straight line. There's just a lot of ways that you have to be open, be willing to step out there, maybe step out in front of people.
No doubt, right?
Exactly.
And be a podcast host.
Yeah.
Podcast guest.
Exactly. Things like this, if you're not comfortable and you're hiding behind that desk or in the cube, something like this, for some people, they just don't want to do it because they're so afraid to step out and stand out. So you really have to be prepared to say, yes, I'm the CEO. It's on me. I have to be willing to stand out here, take the risk, and also be able to be the one who calls the shots as well. So.
I know, and I like how you say about taking risks, because there is nothing about entrepreneurship that is like a sure thing. There's no cookie cutter formula, despite what everyone tells you out there. There is no perfect formula that if you do X, Y, Z, you're going to be rolling in six figures. It's all risk-based, right? And I guess that goes into your expectations. So what should your expectations be when you're diving into this entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I think that that's also where the mindset part comes in, because when I came out of corporate, I had no clue. And some people I look to, they really could only tell me from their limited experience, because they themselves maybe didn't really know, but maybe they appeared to know, so you really have to say, okay, why am I doing this? If I'm doing this just because I want to make money to support myself, do I want to make it for my family? Do I want to, why am I doing this in the first place? because if you don't know, you can get turned around, as you were saying, with all the six figure and I'm on the beach and
I know. Some people are, and that's cool.
It is, but if that wasn't your thing, it wasn't really the thing I had in mind when I first stepped out.
Right.
But then when I started to see that image, I thought, well, maybe I'm missing something here.
I know. And you can't go from nothing to, six figures within 6 months, right?
Right. But if you don't know that and you think somehow you're missing out because everybody seems to be over here having fun and you're somehow not doing that, then your own expectation can now be warped because you're like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're right and I should follow what they say. And then before you know it, you may be in a whole other place that you didn't want to be in because you didn't know, okay, this is what I want. These are my expectations. This is where I'm heading. Mm-hmm. I think you have to hold on to that. Yeah,
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, taking risks, even that phrase, people are like, talking about financial risks,
mm-hmm.
Investing. Mm-hmm. Like you said, even the risk of just being out in public is a thing. So what kind of risks should we take?
Well, I think a lot of it is pretty basic. The risk sometimes just of stepping out and saying, I'm starting a business.
Yeah.
Even a few years back, if you said that, people may ask, why are you doing that? What's wrong with you?
That's risky.
Why are you doing that? But now you hear, after the whole stock market implosion, people seem to want to say, oh, this is what I should do. But still, people still don't know what that really means. That money's not coming in like a check. Maybe it means that you're going to put an idea out that you worked on so hard and it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it means you have to trust and just make that leap and not be sure 100%, where that's going to land. And I think a lot of the language that I hear out here now is trying to tell people this is proven and you can have steady income. And that's great. But there's a lot you have to do to ramp up to get to a point where you could say, okay, I can have some measure of confidence. But even so, everything around us is always changing. It's always in flux. So you've always got to be, like being on a boat. You've always got to be trying to keep your footing because you don't know what other things are going on that can change everything around you.
So true. And I love in your book how you lay it out. You talk about your intuition, creativity, mm-hmm. taking risks, decisions, taking action, and staying motivated. So going from risk into, making the best decision, mm-hmm. what is one tip that you can share with the listeners on how to make better decisions, or I guess what your decision-making criteria should be maybe?
Well, I think that's when I put that in the book, I wanted people to realize that they start with their vision and they work their way through being open to creativity, trusting themselves. Mm-hmm. Now, by the time you get to this point, you should have a better understanding that, okay, if I have, as we were talking about, an expectation, I have the mindset, I know I want to, put this particular thing out here. Now, if I'm setting goals, if I'm really looking at what I really want, I'm looking at what I'm doing, I'm looking at the whole picture. And now, if I've done all the preparation, I've looked at everything, I've researched, we can get into that research paralysis where we always taking classes and never moving forward. So if you have that foundation under you, mm-hmm. and now you're saying, okay, now it's time to do this thing. I've done all the work. I know where I'm heading. This is what I want to do. I trust in my judgment. Now it's time to decide. You're going to go forward or not. You're going to go this direction or not. So I think a foundation has to be there first so we can really trust what we believe, as opposed to someone else may come and say, well, you should do this. And then you're off and running in some other direction.
Oh, I know.
We've been there. So, and that could be really frustrating, especially if it's not really where you want it to go, but you thought maybe this person knows best. And then, if it doesn't work out, then you're really beating yourself up.
So what I'm hearing from that is like having confidence in your decision and moving forward with it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Instead of second guessing. And
because I think, we're always going to have that thing when you are putting something out into the world. You always got that moment where you're like, okay, am I really ready to do this? But you have to me, you have to create that foundation under it so that you can make decisions. And you can move quickly when you know it's time to launch, you know it's time to start working on this thing, because we can sit around and wait, and then someone else took that idea and they run with it.
So true. And then you're kicking. I always say, you know what I always say? You always regret the things you don't do versus the things you do.
Yes, you're right though. It's so true. And you know, when I like to look at QVC, and I always see these products that someone has put out there, I'm like, wow, that's so basic. I mean, you may have thought to yourself, why didn't someone invent X?
I know. Why didn't I do that first?
Right. And you're like, wait a minute. Someone didn't go and run with it. They didn't just sit around and think about it. They did it. And that's the thing that you have to realize. If you've got that idea that's burning in you, there's a reason you have that. You know, don't let let it sit there.
I love that. And so obviously once we decide, we have to take action. And to me, I think this is the area where entrepreneurs really struggle, like knowing what actions to take, where to start, what order. What can we do to take more action and not feel this sense of overwhelm?
Well, that's where I feel like breaking things down into steps and saying, okay, now I've got my list, my calendar, however you do it, and this makes sense to me right now for me to do this next thing. Because a lot of times we have so many ideas, so many things we want to do, and then you're all over the place. It's, you know, I mean, I do that. I opened an Etsy shop because I was teaching myself Photoshop, and I was doing word art, and I love fonts. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this. It's relaxing to me. I love doing it. And I want to do this, but I've got this book to write. I've got that to do. And so I said, wait a minute. Let's look at the calendar and take it step by step by step. Because if you don't do that, everything is just going to be an idea. It's going to be a mess. Nothing ever gets done. You never take that action. So sometimes you just got to rein yourself back in, look at it and say, what can I do right now? What's the priority? Where am I really heading with all this? Does this really fit into where I want to go? Or maybe it's just something you just enjoy doing. In that case, fine. But if you don't organize it in some way, you're not going to get anywhere. You know, so everybody's got all these planners, but are we doing something with them?
I know, right? Well, I put it in my planner. I didn't think of my planner, but it's in there.
Right, it's in the planner. Is something happening?
So what do you do to help minimize those distractions? Because Lord knows they're around, especially with, social media and stuff like that. So, I mean, you've got some actions to take. So how do you stay on track?
Well, my whole thing is I love planners, but I don't use them because I know I just write things down in them and then they just sit there. So that's how come I know about the planner situation. So I went back to basics. I printed out some calendars, just basic, put them up so I can see them, and I have notes on them. And I'm saying, okay, if I want to do this thing, then this is the dates I have to do, and work backwards. Well, these things have to happen for this to happen at this date. Is this realistic? Because sometimes we make all these commitments because we want to get it out, but then you really can't do it all. Maybe you have to delegate. Maybe you have to pull back on a few things. So the thing is to really, that's what I have to do, because I find myself going in 100 different directions. Yeah. And then I'm frustrated because I still didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish.
So you're visual? You have like the visual calendar?
Oh, yeah. Very much. Very much. I have to see things, I even use that language. I have to see it. I have to, then it makes more sense to me.
And I guess, knowing yourself and understanding how you work and what your weaknesses are, and what kind of a learner you are, that really helps.
Yes, definitely. Because everybody communicates in a different way. And you just gotta, find that way that works for you and then go with it,
Totally. Now, I mean, entrepreneurs, every year, you start your business. It's not like that's it. It's always changing, new products, new services, revamping things, whatever. So there's always new actions to take, right? Now, how, as an entrepreneur, because there's dips and journeys, how do we stay motivated? What is one great tip that you can share on how we can stay motivated?
Well, I guess it goes back to deciding, why are you doing this in the first place? which may seem the most basic answer. But it does come down to that, because there are times when you were like, why am I doing this? What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
This is crazy. Why, you just want to scream. But the thing is, why are you doing this? Is this really still what you want to do? Is this still meeting your needs? Is this still a direction you want to go in? Because it's quite possible that you may find some point in your life it isn't.
Yeah.
So the thing is that it's not to feel bad about that, because we all are growing as people, and life, we go through life and everything. And sometimes what you wanted is not what you want right now.
That's so true. Yeah, it's always changing, and it's okay. It's a good thing, I think.
Yes, it is, because now maybe there's some other thing calling to you that now it's time for you to go and do. So that it's, sometimes I talk to people and they are frustrated because they had an idea of where they thought they should be right now. I get it, because gone through that myself. But then you say, well, do I still want the same things? Am I still in the same place? Sometimes you just need to be recharged and to remember why you started. And sometimes it's telling you it's time to move on to something else.
That's true. Awesome. Thank you for that great tip.
Sure.
And of course, our 15 minutes is up already. It goes by fast. Now, I know you have a free chapter of how people can find your book as well, Think Like an Entrepreneur. Where would you like them to go to find that?
Well, I'm going to share the link with you because it's a little bit long, but my website, dbaileycoach.com, has a lot of information. And if you click through to the site, there's, the sidebar, there's some things that you can click on and get you and learn more about my book. And but I'm also going to share the link with you. So,
but show notes.
Yeah. So, but I think the site will, give you everything that I'm going, doing right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for being on my show.
Thank you. This is so much fun.
Awesome. So, well, folks, this week's 15-minute cruise to move the needle in your business has come to an end. It goes by fast. And of course, if you're looking to achieve faster growth through content marketing and social media marketing, look no further than smoothbusinessgrowth.com. I wish you all a profitable and productive week, and may the winds always be at your back.